So, since we are playing randomized swords and standard tonight, that means we will get a random weapon tonight. What do you think it's going to be, Walshy?
I kind of have a feeling that we might see Uncle Bombs tonight.
Ooh, a sword to start in your house. This is not a bad start. Does not matter what weapon we get at this point.
The weapon's just going to be a nice friendly bonus.
Indeed it will. It will mean hopefully one of the chase items can be easily obtained early this way. As I was saying, standard race means we are going to have to run through escape. Uncle will always give us a weapon, and all chests, again, are randomized. And it looks like we get the Cane of Burna. So, not a terrible chase item, but a nice backup to the sword.
It's going to make the blind fight... yeah, it's going to make the blind fight a little easier if they ever get to that, and make Laser Bridge a bit easier, but not any immediate progress.
Nope. What we will see is the racers here probably farm a couple of soldiers early on, just to hopefully see if they can get a bomb drop early. As we have 3 items locked behind bombs in the back of escape, having that bomb is really handy so you do not have to come back here again.
Exactly, yeah, and there's always a possibility that you actually have your first glove upgrade locked in that room, so getting a bomber here would be very helpful.
Ooh, and Roxas with a 4 bomb drop.
So we should level up with a prize pack.
Indeed. So we should see Roxas probably not kill anything he doesn't have to before he gets out of escape at this point. And just the blue boomerang to assist here. So, yeah, we saw Hera was a crystal, and it looked like junk pendants, as it were, are in Eastern and Desert. I'll need a verification on that, but I think... Oh, we have 2 crystals in the Light World.
I believe Desert was one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals.
Oh, that would probably be what it was then. I saw red. Clara still searching for that bomb drop. I'm wondering if either of the racers, especially Claris at this point, checks the stun prize, seeing maybe it drops bombs, which would completely trivialize hunting for that bomb at this point.
Would absolutely be a great thing to check. Yeah. They got that boomerang, so it shouldn't take too much work to stun an enemy.
Yep. To let our viewers know, if they do not know, the stun prize is if you stun an enemy and kill them, they will give the same item every single time. So in the case here, if you stun them, they might drop a bomb, which means every time you stun and kill, you'll get a bomb. Surprised neither racer is using Cane of Burna to kick him up into the corner and just win. But both of them make pretty easy work of that Mace Knight.
Both of them using the fairly traditional 1 pot and then just 4 sword slashes.
Yep. Nice to note that the pots, when thrown, do tempered sword damage. They will do 3 points of damage. If I'm not mistaken.
You know, that makes sense, you know, pots being the, second best weapon in the game?
Yep. So as we make our way through escape, we'll most likely see both players check Lost Woods. I don't know if both of them will check the Lumberjack Cave. I like to check it because knowledge is power. And makes things way easier for you in the future. Because if you see a key item on that ledge, you immediately know you are going to have to head to Aga ASAP.
Really, yeah, I know some runners will wait until they get boots to check that cave because, you know, if the item's locked behind boots anyway, it doesn't really matter when you, what would be there. But yeah, having that information may influence your decision on when you go into Dark World, assuming you get this setup for Dark World access through Aga 1.
Exactly, and it's that piece of information that dramatically drives how you play at that point. So if you get the boots and don't know what's on that ledge, do you go do Aga unless the seed has explicitly kind of pushed you that direction? Maybe not. So I'd like to see them check that ASAP. And there's an 8 bomb drop for Claris. Now we have all of our bombs for racers.
Yeah, they're both going to be pretty set heading to Kakariko and for these last 3 in Escape.
And just 3 more from the chest here. As Roxas makes his way to kill the final boss of Escape. It's important to note that we have found the map at this point, which means the racers will be checking the last chest in the Sanctuary. Just a little bit of love times 2 and 300 rupees.
So that 300 rupee drop, that's going to be very useful. It's pretty much going to be... They're pretty much going to have the money necessary to check the bottle vendor, and they're very close to having the money for the Zora check, assuming that gets put into logic pretty soon.
Exactly, and it's important to note that all you need for Zora is flippers or the glove, and the game assumes or the logic assumes you are going to farm money to go check Zora ASAP if it's in the game.
I'll always assume that you have 500 rupees and 10 bombs at all times, so the sooner you can get caught up to the logic, the easier your early game's going to be.
Exactly. So Rox is making his way out of the Sanctuary just a little bit after 6:45. Pretty decent escape, especially with swords and an early bomb drop. I wouldn't complain about that as an escape time.
And Roxas has a bit of a lead. He didn't have to farm as many enemies to get bomb drops, but 7 minutes in, this lead is pretty much unassailable, right?
Exactly. Not a terribly good tree pull. We've got our tier 2 prize being 1 rupee. Let's see if the racers ever check it again. But ooh, this is what I mean. Knowing that the fire rod is on that ledge means you might need to do Aga at this point.
Very rare pendant layouts that we can get, but given that we already know where one of the pendants is, it's very unlikely that both Skull and Turtle Rock are going to be pendants too.
I mean, it's not guaranteed, but it is extremely highly likely we are going to have to do Aga, and we are going to find the boots. Because if Turtle Rock and Skullwoods aren't, I'm just trying to think, do we have anywhere else that needs a fire rod? I don't think so.
Because you can use Bombos to navigate through Ice Palace.
It's not fun, especially without half magic, but it's doable, so it's likely we don't have to come back and get that. Chat bringing up the greatest troll of all time being Ice Rod on pedestal. Except it can, I don't think it can be actually with this setup. Possibly.
We need to know whether or not Turtle Rock is a crystal first before we can make predictions about the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shovel, some bombs, another of those 20 rupees, and another piece of heart, giving us our first heart container other than the big one we've picked up on Roxas' side. Early money farm, just to probably fake flipper up to Zora.
Those 30 rupees, no matter what, they're right in your way.
Exactly. It's a couple of seconds out of your way to grab an extra chunk of couch change, so...
Usually not an item that you like to see because that's an item that's almost impossible to route in, but getting it in Kakariko Village, when you're routing down over to the race game, that's actually kind of helpful because you can just kind of take yourself over to the Haunted Grove, and that's a pretty easy check right there.
It really is. The other time, with the mirror, if they have Dark World access early, it's also not bad coming from Village of Outcasts as you check Stumpy. So, not bad routing either way. I don't know if I'd check Shovel right away at this point. Ooh, and the flute from the bottle vendor. Hardest time to activate your flute. You can't get a better spot for that.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you're right next to the activation spot, so... Egg ducks in chat.
The duck is a muck.
Time to react between, like, getting the item and activating it.
Now that is a swag duck tonight. Although, at this point, with this much movement and the information of the fire rod being locked behind Aga, I'm wondering what else the seed has up its sleeve for our racers tonight.
All kinds of things in play right now. Tower of Hera, assuming that it's not fire locked, which we're probably going to be finding the lamp pretty soon here. That's in play right now.
Probably the fastest ability to move from looking at race game to South Shore. We'll see. Just a bomb capacity upgrade in the library. Nothing we're ever going to come back for. And Roxas deciding not to spend a bomb to go check what's in the race game. And it's a Moon Pearl!
That's definitely an item that you want to come back to get.
Yeah, and it looks... Oh, I thought Claris was going to make the smart move, although it's all of a couple of seconds different to go check. Oh, and the quick menu hoping to get out of there and going, oh, wait, I want this. Couple of big progression items right off the bat. Still looking for that Dark World access, which is a hammer or Titan's Mitts at this point. Also, if we're... Oh, Roxas is going to go do his shovel check. And we also need either a Master Sword or the Cape and a light source to go do Aga. So these are the items we're on the lookout for, people.
Nothing from the dig spot.
Thanks, Shovel. You were a great help.
Useful as always.
Now let's see if we actually get some mirror strats to remove these bricks so we can do a double check or not. Oh, he's remembering now.
Remembered, yeah. That's good. That's going to save not as, a few seconds.
For chat wanting to know, you can only get into Aga either through the Cape or the Master Sword to get past the barrier. Berna does not help that. Ooh, and there's our gloves! Very nice find. Hopefully they're not too rusty for our racers being at the bottom of that dam.
They'll be fine, just like shake them off, shake that extra water off.
Shake it off. Shake it off. Link to the Past Randomizer, now with random show tunes.
Shoehorn in as many Taylor Swift references as we can.
And let's see if we find anything useful here. Big 20, bomb capacity 50, bomb capacity, and 300. That's our second out of 5 300s. as you were saying, Walshy, we've got this wonderful advantage of being able to fake flipper up to Zora's and get that check out of the way, as well as with the Moon Pearl being able to do the Fairy Cave.
So Zora is in logic, and with the Moon Pearl, we can trigger a glitch exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 version of this game, where you can walk on water.
Both racers going to need to be a little careful, or, well, Roxas for sure, being at 2.5 hearts. These crabs do 2 damage apiece, and ouch! There's a hit. These crabs really do punish you if you're not careful.
Yeah, in the vanilla game, they guard that ice rod well.
Sneaky guard on Claris's side, and just a little bit more money. I expect Roxas to pull out his flute and fly to 8, and then fake flipper at this point. Oh, we're gonna get a death warp. Unless he's gonna go over and check possibly Sahasrah's hut. Yep, so we've got a regular crystal in Hera, red crystal in Desert, and blue pendant in Eastern. That green guard is hunting wascally wabbits. Oh, Rox is going to make his way and sequence break. Ooh, Bombos on Lake Hylia. Rox is going to go grab the old man through a sequence break. While Claris is sequence breaking Hobo.
So with the check that Roxas is doing, he's actually going to be establishing a save and quit point to the to the Death Mountain. It's not terribly useful when you only have Flute and Mirror, but it's still something that you want to have, like when you have to check locations, like Zora or like a Spike Cave, where you can just very quickly get back to where you need to go, and that's the Master Sword.
Which means Lantern should not be that far behind, being our second out of 3 items to get us into Ganon or Aghanim. And yes, Claris making that reverse fake flippers out of Hobo, which is not the easiest jump. Really nicely done. It's important to note, if Claris takes a hit of damage at this point, they will be... Oh! Progression gloves on Spectacle Rock! This is an interesting one. And Hookshot in the Fairy Cave. This has been an interesting sequence break on the Claris side of things.
That's potentially huge for Claris, because once he gets those Titans meds, he'll be able to go straight over to Death Mountain, kind of Cave, Hookshot Cave, and Super Bunny Cave, all kinds of caves.
They'll have access to both light and dark East Death Mountain, which is huge for this point. That's, I think, 11 chests. No, 14. 14 chests. Oh, and Kana Samari in the basement. What is this seed?
Extremely useful find.
That is one of our 2 items we're going to find here in Hera. I think Claris is going to make their way up Death Mountain at this point via Flute. Claris grabbing their Master Sword and then going to go get their Titan's Mitt and be happily surprised. I wonder if Claris is actually going to go up first, or are they going to go to East Death Mountain first?
I think it'd make more sense to go up first, because you at least know that those chests are in logic, and that's a red rupee from that chest in Harris, so there will be no basement today.
And still nothing on the last Troll Dorm. Wow. So no having to worry about the item he drops. I'm wondering if we don't find the flippers in Village of Outcasts, which gets us to the Fairy Cave, which gets a hookshot to get us the lantern on East Death Mountain. I'm wondering if that's the direction logic takes us tonight.
I think flippers are going to be somewhere in Village of Outcasts, or maybe there's even hype in Hype Cave.
Yeah, it would be nice to see a hype cave. Attempt number 2 on Roxas' side, a little bit of early troll dorming. Claris getting their mitts. So we both have our Titans mitts on both sides. Ooh, and a map check. So we have pendants in Thieves Town and Misery. And our last red crystal is Pod. So that immediately means we do need to do Aga. That has been confirmed at this point.
Absolutely, that fire rod is extremely required.
You might say it's the hot item tonight. I'll be here all week.
Yeah.
And here's where we're going to see a little bit of divergence, with Roxas checking Village of Outcasts, while Claris getting to clear East Death Mountain on both sides.
Just getting his map check in, and he will be similarly dismayed to learn that that fire rod is very required.
The magic powder is always a nice find. Otherwise, a very uneventful Paradox Cave. Meanwhile, a heart piece in the chest game for Roxas.
Roxas opening up Thieves Town, but choosing not to go in at this point. Thieves Town is a pendant, but every chest in Thieves Town is pretty much an overworld chest, so he may choose to go in and dip the first 4, but yeah, we'll see where he chooses to go from here.
Not only that, Thieves Town does hold 4 items, which is a really nice early check. Blind is a fairly easy kill, especially with the Cane of Burna being accessible to our racers. So, and it gives us the green pendant to check with Sahasrahla. So, all in all, it's not a terrible move on Roxas's part to check there.
Not, and we see him going right back up.
And Spiral Cave, disappointing once again. Our second item in Thieves Town has been the big key, so we found the small and the big key, which puts us in a 2-item possibility in this front half, which still could be the map and the compass, which means at least one of the items will be locked behind the hammer, if that happens. There's the compass, which means one item is, or possibly locked.
Fair upgrade, and Roxas is mirroring out.
I don't blame him at this point. That's not a terrible idea. Go do the shovel game and check there. And we're going to get our hookshot check on Claris's side. Also, what medallion we're going to need for Turtle Rock. That Bombos on the island is now required. Flippers is a very, very big item to find at this point.
So hopefully those are coming up soon for Roxas here. Oh, and Tempered Sword out for Claris.
And a mail upgrade, which is nice and handy. And that's about it.
Too much of note on Death Mountain for Claris.
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
Much of note that I saw on Death Mountain for Claris. You know, they got the Tempered Sword, which is that's definitely gonna make every single boss fight in the game much easier. And of course, they're never gonna go out of style with the blue mayo, but much use from the sequence break.
Nope. It just is a little bit of safety and advantage. Claris going to get their Cane of Samaria here. Roxas forgetting that he cannot do the dig game with the chest with him. So we'll get Cave 45, aka the cave south of the Grove. It's one of my favorite names just because it's one of those, oh, we really had no better name for it.
What that I did forget about on Claris' side is the magic powder, because that opens up the magic baton logic.
Oh, very true. So we do have one extra check coming out of East Death Mountain. Oh, and the lantern on Stumpy! So, Roxas is now all but one item from getting that fire rod, but can go do Aga at this point. So it looks like Logic wanted you to go up to Tower of Hera, get your gloves, and then go see Stumpy to get the mitts, and then go up Death Mountain properly to get the sword. And there's Quake from Gary's lunchbox. And our hype cave check. Let us be the hypest of hype caves. Watch. Hammer, bow.
You know, 5 items here, they can be the 5 items that we need for Go mode pretty easily. Or big 20.
How many big 20s? Ooh, there's our 4th sword progression. And another fetch quest. So right now, Claris does not know where the lantern, Roxas does not know where the hookshot is. A little bit of information missing on both sides, so this will be interesting. But I think Roxas is making his way up to go do Aga at this point. One of my favorite things to find in the back of Sahasrah's hut is both the arrows, or the silver arrows, and the bow. He just totally holds out on you.
Absolutely, that's always fun when you can get the bow and the silver arrows like pretty much in the same spot.
It's also fun to note that our overworld travel on Roxas' side will be slightly inhibited once Aga is dead, as all the monsters upgrade in difficulty. And our third 300 rupee now.
Pretty set for the rest of the seed. You know, even Claris, having already checked Zora, if I remember correctly, is already back at 950.
Indeed. And Claris should find his lantern shortly. Looks like we're getting a Skullwoods check early. Okay. Not the worst idea. It's quite fast, and I feel it's something I usually try to do early. Skullwoods has lost a little bit of its favor since, you know, V26, V27, where there was quite a lot of things that ended up falling in the front of Skullwoods there. But, you know, it's still 2 chests and fairly accessible early on.
Days of Value Woods may have died in the past couple versions. There's still that chance that you do have the required double dip Skullwood seed. Thieves Town, these are pretty much overworld locations, so it makes a lot of sense to go and get some of these out of the way.
Still no items found on Claris's side.
Out of the first chest, but yeah.
So I see chat asking how many blue balls. For those who do not know, in the Aghanim fight, we have 2 different types of balls he can throw at us. Yellow balls, which we can bounce back at him with our sword for damage, or blue balls, which split and slow things up. He has a repeating cycle of 5 balls. The first one is always going to be yellow. Then he can randomly pick between yellow or blue for the next 3. And his last is always going to be lightning.
How many blue balls do you think we're going to be seeing tonight?
You know, just the way the seed has gone, I'm gonna say 5. Not trying to hurt our racers, but it's feeling that way of a seed.
5? It's not the worst, you know, it's certainly not 15.
And Helposaur King has dropped us the odds of blue balls, so my 5 is an 8% chance. And a big 50 on the Bumper Cave ledge.
This coming up on the glorified cutscene. Had to watch his health a little bit coming up here with Greenmail, but he should be fine for this fight.
Yep, and Claris deciding to check Graveyard at this point. The Graveyard Ledge, one of our many ledges in this race. Welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer, Ledge Edition. There's our requisite 1. There's our first blue balls. It's also important to note we need to hit Aghanim 6 times. And there's 2 blue balls in the first phase.
Let's want to see a 15 blue ball fight. You can check out the Helposaur King link that just dropped.
There are 2 15s in there. It is brilliant. Ooh, yeah. And Quake to get into Misery, which is at Gary's lunchbox. So we know where all of our medallions needed are tonight. Ooh, bow in... Oh, Ice Rod and bow in Meyer's Shed. And that's the hype location tonight.
The most helpful I've ever seen the Meyer Shed.
So that was 4 blue balls if I counted correctly. And what's on our pyramid ledge tonight? Come on, hammer. Ah, just a piece of heart. Every time I say piece of heart, I feel like James Wood is going to come out of the shadows and be like, ooh, piece of wood, or piece of heart. Ooh, piece of heart.
Oh yeah, just like continually chasing that like trail of heart pieces.
Exactly. So we're going to get this mushroom turn in. It looks like we're not going to worry about fake powder, seeing as it's quite accessible at this point. But Roxas doesn't know that. Ooh, and the mushroom gets us a single rupee. Claris going to get that absolute wonderful mire shed.
Yeah. Let's just check the mire shed. I think they're coming back to see if Desert is boots locked or not.
That's not a bad idea. Oh yeah, it was Claris who checked that. Oh, and going to get whatever's on the ledge. There's our 300 rupee.
So we're not for Zora. This might be the record rupee seed.
Thank you, Catfish, for your wonderful 20 rupees.
As ever.
Rox is so close and not knowing that the hookshot is back there. And it is boots locked for Desert.
The center chest in Desert, so...
Which means that big key opens the big chest, which has a small key, which is going to get us to the right side. Or Landmolus is going to have the small key. Either way, neither are fun options. Claire's going to do Village of Outcasts now. Find not anything really worthwhile. Probably will check Thieves Town and then finally get their lamp. While we do some of these checks, let's make sure we get a link to all of our racers tonight, roxas232 and clarisdatcom. They're doing a fantastic job putting on a great show for us. It's fantastic entertainment, so let's follow them if you like what you see. They put themselves out here. Let's make this a great game for them. As well, a big thank you to everyone else who helps make this happen, from us, the commentators, to the trackers, so Dataplet being our tracker tonight, to our restreamers. There's a huge community to make a 512-person Swiss tournament happen, and this community has it. So a big thank you to everyone who makes this happen.
Really, thanks to everyone behind the scenes who helps out with this. This is a really fun tournament.
Yeah, it's fun to see when you break the tournament website we use and need it to be upgraded to be able to handle how many people we have. Roxas making a dive into Eastern without the bow. Which, unless there's an absolutely fantastic item, will be a bit of a double dip at this point.
It's kind of surprising he didn't check the Mire area first. I think he maybe think because Mire is a pendant and because he boots yet, it's kind of smarter to like wait until later to kind of route in the Desert of Mire check. But yeah, that's really going to hurt coming into double dipping Eastern Palace. Though it is a pendant, so we'll see if he finds all three items.
Very true. And the big key right off the bat means we don't have to loop around a couple of times, so that's great. Yeah, he might not. Armos might be a troll and hold an item we want, so let's see. I personally feel Armos is going to be hiding something tonight. Is that going to be something useful? We'll see. Having the Tempered Sword does make quick work of all the enemies in both of these dungeons that we see our racers going through right now.
You see Claris heading to the back of Thieves Town, so...
And Armos has our third... oh, nope. Not guaranteed yet. I think we still have the map out there.
The map was in the... on the right side of Eastern. I can't remember what that room's called.
I think that might be the compass room. Yeah, that means Armos Knights has one of our 3 items. Thanks, Armos. The curse of having sword beams where it does almost no damage and you just want to go take a hit.
Beams do fighter sword damage, and when you're trying to hit something with your tempered sword, that can be a...
And Roxas noping out, saying, I'm done with that. Not the worst idea. So, interesting thing, you'll notice on Claris' screen that Blind has different hair color than you'd normally see. With these unique sprites, they have to change the color palette slightly, and sometimes some sprites get changed. In this case, Blind is one of them. Landmo's Explosions is another that usually gets hit. A big shout out to our community who has incredible sprite designers. They pretty much have added over 100 different sprites at this point, which is great and gives us a ton of variety when you want to see interesting things running this game. Rox is getting his bow and ice rod.
A little bit bummed to see the bow coming out of Mireshed here, but if he's really worried about the Armos Knights, he does have Pod open, having defeated Aghanim, so if he wants to route that in, he has a really good opportunity to do so.
Yep, and Claris getting that green pendant everyone loves. Go Hype Shed, go. And go. Yes, Claris is going to go and get... don't do Jeremiah first. Go do the dig game. Yeah, there we go. Good move, Claris. We have not seen the dig game on Roxas' side, so this will be an interesting find.
Rather long dig game today.
23 digs to get just 10 arrows.
For not.
That hurts. And Rox is going to find out Eastern or Desert is fully boots locked. I think this is good routing on Claris's part. Do the dig game, grab Jeremiah, return him home, do all of those checks, and oh, we could do a magic bat check in the process.
This does have that they got with their sequence broken hook shot, so we'll see if they take the time to check that chest, even though they have to know it's still sequence break at this point.
And that's one of the challenges when you sequence break in this game, is making sure you mentally keep track of everything that would be accessible at this point and wouldn't be, and when it does become available, because that changes where you're going to look for items. Roxas trolling his goose. Asking for a lift.
I thought he wanted to go somewhere he wants to go to. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I was just going to say he just wanted to go to check Aghanim, which is everyone's favorite, or Agina's cave.
The location, but this is this is probably the best time possible to check it, when you're in the desert area already.
And at least flute means it's a really quick check regardless, so not terrible. And fluting out to go do Stumpy in the chest now, which will get entrance into Meyer and their lantern finally. We're still missing those flippers, and those flippers get us the hook shot, which doesn't open up a ton, but it's a piece of information that Roxas still needs, and it does effectively open up Swamp once we get the hammer. So items we still need to find: hammer, boots, flippers, quite a few items still that are, and the hammer is probably one of the bigger ones that unlocks items for us. As chat pointing out, the worst case scenario ever. This is the best advantage of having chat around. First chest in Swamp could have hammer.
Could have the hammer, yes, though we would need to find the flippers first before we really have to worry about that.
And Claris just mere feet away from that lantern. So, you know, I think Chad is right. Our two items that we are hunting for tonight are going to be the boots and the hammer. Our big chase items, which are unfortunately not fun to find. I don't think Roxas has found the big key. Have they?
Or Skull Woods? I don't think we got the big key.
I was just wondering why he's trying to do that bomb jump.
Very good question. That bomb jump and you just want to show it off, you know? Talking about kind of at the beginning of the seed, having that information on the fire rod may be routing here, because it's kind of looking like the seed is forcing you to do Aga anyway to get to Pod to find something to progress.
That is a really good point. And now that they have the bow, Pod is pretty open.
Flippers or hammer to get to Pod, the only other way is Aghanim, so knowing that fire rod is on the Lumberjack Cave, that is going to make this decision a lot easier.
Right. And there's our butter sword. Butter sword is never terrible.
sword for August Tower is really fun because you get to kill everything in one hit. Like, it's not that much faster than having Tempered Sword, but still, you feel so powerful when you do August Tower with butter.
We're going to get our mushroom check here. Again, that wonderfully single rupee. And Rox is making his way over to Pod, it looks like.
Just going to buy a bottle, remembers, oh, wait, I have plenty of money, but no bottles.
And Rox is going with a fairly low health, but going to go grab this fairy cave, which we don't usually see. Wonderful puns. So there is a sword in... Was it not in Hobo or in one of the sequence broken? Oh, it's Eastern Death Mountain, I think.
Yeah, it was in Hookshot Cave, and that's where the blue mail was as well.
Yes. Oh, and the boots! Vanilla boots tonight! Go Claris!
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to Sanctuary, and... Oh, now they're going to go do Aga and then go get their Fire Rod.
So Blind is absolutely required this seed, so hopefully Roxas can get back there as soon as he can.
You know, and that's going to be a huge call to see how long it takes for Roxas to get back there. Because I feel right now Roxas has made some really solid moves and is finding that Lantern early and getting Aga out of the way puts him in a good position. But now that the boots are behind Green Pendant, you know, the old axiom still holds. If you dive into a Green Pendant dungeon, clear it.
Absolutely. You don't want to take any chances. You want to get everything that you can out of there. And, you know, if you're worried about that hammer, it's understandable, but you really want to get to where you need to go as soon as you can.
We are missing an item in Thieves Town in the chest behind the hammer as well. If I had my count correct.
White looking.
Why are you going to check Eastern, Roxas? Like, you could have done a huge chunk of pod with the bow through the bottom part, and I think that would have been a smart move, because you still have quite a few chests in the back to check there.
Wants to get this out of his mind.
Yeah, and... You know, if this does turn out to be a hammer ped seed, which could happen, you know, having another pendant done is a great position to be in.
With the boots, Misery Mire is open in Logic, so very well be a ped seed.
Yeah, we've got the Cane of Samaria, so...
For flippers, because that gives us bombos. We're looking for hammer, which you surprisingly don't need to clear any of these dungeons, and yeah.
Yeah, flippers and hammer both have the potential of being up there. Could this be a ped seed? Stay tuned to find out. You know, having Butter Sword means not having to find silver arrows at this point. Kind of nice. Like, it would be nice to have, but it's not required at this point, so... And I would expect both of these racers to be very competent with Silverless, so...
You may see some extra chests being open, like if they haven't hit go mode, but not a whole ton.
Exactly. It's not going to be a make or break item for these racers. You know, going into Ganon's Hour with Fighter Sword, it becomes a very big make or break item. Oh, and the Arrow of Destiny.
Most precious treasure. How do you turn 18 arrows into one? Behold.
And for my next trick, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Return to Thieves Town for Roxas.
I think it's the only move at this point.
Because he doesn't seem like he wants to dive pod at this point.
It's not the worst call knowing Boots is behind Sahasrahla and Green Pendant, but you're not going to find anything else helpful here. Probably kicking himself for having to double dip here. And double dip pretty much every dungeon he's done tonight.
The only one he hasn't exited out of is Tower of Hera. One.
Yes. I'd like to see Claris go and do pod. Not with that. Gonna go get the Fire Rod first. Not a bad call. And also Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb are available too.
And they've already checked the Graveyard Ledge, so they don't have to worry about routing that in anymore.
Which means this is a much faster check. I always hate having to check Graveyard Ledge because it's such an out-of-the-way place.
What do you do here? You get the Fire Rod. Do you dive pod and hope that you find the hammer in there, or do you go into Misery Mire and do the blind ped pull? Not yet if you're Claris.
I do the pod. The pod check has to be, I think, the best. I couldn't blind ped at this pull at this point. But
pod
you're starting to run out of chest locations very quickly.
Pod does have a potential 5 items as opposed to Myers 2, and you also have 1 item left in the back of Skull Woods, which may be where Claris is going to be going next.
Claris, no. Go check your Bonk Rocks first. Don't leave here without checking Bonk Rocks. If something big's in Bonk Rocks, that could be a game changer. Roxas is using the Sora sprite. And now Claris is going to go clear Skull Woods and get that second item, depending on where it's hidden. Maybe in the big chest, maybe on Mothula.
Blind that you get with the Sora sprite is kind of her suit.
Exactly.
Blind for the moth, hoping to find that last item on her.
Yep. So just quickly, chat asked a good question. What makes the Lumberjack cave locked by Aghanim? So the Lumberjacks are cutting a tree. They don't finish until Aghanim is dead. and it becomes dead, and you can bonk it with the boots to open it up. That's all it is.
You're pretty much doing a 5-minute dungeon just to pull one item, or 3 to 5 minute dungeon. I can't remember the exact time off the top of my head.
And Claris waiting for that wall master before diving into the hole, because that wall master can grab you while falling, and everyone loves that moment.
Talked about how fake flippers is a glitch exclusive to the 1.0 version. So is the glitch where a wall master can grab you while you're in the fall animation. Yeah.
This is a really well designed game.
1991. They were trying their best.
And a nice clear from Claris. And our first bottle. Maybe Sick Kid has flippers for us.
Going right to 3, gonna show that Sick Kid a bottle, and in return.
And Roxas getting his boots. Claire's going to clear desert.
It's a fair play. You know that you're going to get the progression item in the form of the crystal out of here, so it kind of makes sense to like kind of try to get this out of the way as quick as you can.
Yep, and it's 2 items still that we haven't seen in this dungeon, so... Chat, Bombos is on Lake Hylia Island, which requires flippers. A little bit of good dodging on Roxas' side there.
Roxas is just a little bit low on health.
And going to do the Death Warp, not a bad idea at this point.
And there's a lot more than 2, so I can completely respect that play.
That was interesting. Saved and exited. And now the slightly faster strat of gold sword swings, 2 of them can be faster than silver arrows.
It's option for killing Lamo at this point, unless you're really confident in your Fire Rod game.
Yep. Or Ice Rod game if you really want to. I feel
Yeah,
that's
I thought
very
that was fun.
Very swag strats.
That's a pretty fun challenge if you ever have the chance for an Ice Rod kill.
To chat, yeah, you'd have Ice Rod from a vanilla perspective, and I think it is an NMG strat. I have not been involved in the NMG community at all, so I could not comfortably say that's the case.
In NMG, you pretty much just have arrows and your sword. Difficult kill to optimize.
And Clara's doing that pod check finally. I think there's going to be something big in the back of pod. Based on the way things have routed, I'd expect to see hopefully flippers. But hammer would be nice too, because then you can clear this in one go.
With you there, it seems that the siege is either forcing Meyer or it's forcing you to do Aghanim to get access to this area.
Kiki the thief taking, 110 rupees of ours and absconding with it just to let us in. Ooh, that was risky, Roxas. If our key item is here in pod, this will be a massive play for Claris at this point. And Rox is getting a little bit of trouble with Mothula. Ooh!
Ooh.
And they don't have that fairy bottle either.
Thing that you would hope would help with this fight is on Moth. Boss that you want to take care of as soon as you can. Get those 4 tempered sword hits in really quickly, because that fight can go really bad real quick.
Yep, and remember, Mothula cannot do damage, or cannot take damage if they get bounced into spikes.
Nothing but small keys and dungeon items in the front of pod, so as usual, looks like the real hype is in the back.
And it wasn't even a nice key pattern for Claris to go through. Come on, harmless Hellway. Sometimes, you kind of tilt when you have those really bad experiences, and I don't blame Roxas after that.
Absolutely not. Yeah, one of the things that you don't really see, like when you're watching one of these races, is just like the mental aspect of it all. Like, you're running the seed pretty much by yourself. You have no idea where your opponent is at any point. And as the mistakes start to mount, like the stress of the race can really start to pile on. And it's really like one mistake can just become another.
I had that happen in my race this week. It was unfortunate, but the hammer was the first chest in swamp, and just, second fairy bottle. And it was just the last place you'd ever want to check with pendant swamp. But, it's there, you grab it, and you move on. You get pissed off, and it can unbalance you, making poor mistakes left, right, and center. So, seeing racers recover from this is absolutely critical in this. And nothing in Pod. Pod has not played out. So now we're going to start making those not-so-pleasant checks, like doing Misery, clearing Armos Knights, first chest in Swamp, possibly blind Ped Pull.
Or another, Meyer's gonna have what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think Meyer is the smart bet at this point, and I actually feel with what chests are left, a blind Ped Pull is actually starting to look appealing at this point.
Only chests that Claris hasn't checked yet are Bonk Rocks and Catfish.
Oh, Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, that...
Oh, no. No, don't tell me it's something good in Bonk Rocks. I think I'd do Bonk Rocks before Misery.
Absolutely, and I don't think Roxas has even been to that part of the map yet, so... Rocks are.
This is turning out to be quite the seed. This is the thing. Chat's pointing out he could have picked up Bonk Rocks when he went and got his Fire Rod. And it's true, he could have. But this is the thing. If you're kind of flustered by already having to do an Aga Seed, you make these mistakes, and they can mount up really quickly. But both racers are doing a fantastic job so far tonight. Let's make sure, if you're enjoying what you see, let's give them a follow. And make them know that we appreciate every work that they've done for this.
Roxas going for the Lamo kill with the Tempered Sword and Arrows combo. Yeah, and arrows do Tempered Sword damage to the Lamo. Briefly forgot they didn't have their bow out.
That's fine, because, Gold Sword does just as well against green Igors. It's not a red one, so... I don't know if Claris has enough arrows going into this. Only 50 for Armos.
A little bit under armor coming into this fight, you know, blue mail, gold sword.
It's also
They'd
fun
have
to
the
note
silver arrows.
that normal wooden arrows do more damage than gold sword to Armos. Old vanilla strats, stuff I remember doing, killing Armos this way. And now racers both have 2 out of 3 pendants, with the third being in misery and us trying to avoid checking it like the plague. Big advantage here is Claris is going to have the gold sword for quite a while before Roxas even can get up to East Death Mountain, so this is a huge advantage for Claris to clear dungeons faster, bosses faster, and without silver arrows, things like if we have to do Vitreous will be way faster. Cainaburna and Dash strats. Here's our Bonk Rocks check. Is this gonna pay off? There's the hammer!
Oh, man.
Oh, Claris, no! Bonk is the key after that long race around.
Races and randomizer are never over. Like, even
Nope.
Yeah.
This race can easily swing if Claris checks that very quickly. Claris has nothing left to check at Catfish, so I don't know why the mirror is out, other than to flute away. But Catfish check isn't a bad idea. Hopefully Claris goes and checks those Bonk Rocks, because that opens up a ton at this point. We still need flippers, though. Boing to you, that was me. I was asking for that check, and then they didn't, and I was very sad. Ooh, Claire's going into misery.
Slightly less appealing of a play as I thought it was just a moment ago. Now that we know where the hammer is, and
Roxas is gonna go clear pod at this point. Not a bad move, although I think there's one item left in pod at this point, if my count was correct, and it's a crystal, so you're coming back unless it's flippers. I don't feel this is the best move, because you're gonna have to come here anyways.
This does unlock the Pyramid Fairy, though, so maybe Roxas is thinking about that play as well.
That is a very, very good point. And Pyramid Fairy is 2 chests. This has been a very interesting fetch quest seed.
There's like just all over Hyrule, just looking for everything.
We're going to see a fairly high item check, I'd say in the 170s, if not higher, based on the way things are going right now.
Though, we know that, well, at least we know for Claris, assuming they find the hammer, they'll be able to go mode Swamp, they'll be able to go mode Turtle Rock.
They can't swamp without flippers.
Like, Flippers is looking like it might be the go mode item.
I think flippers is go mode tonight. Because flippers gets us Bombos, which gets us into Turtle Rock. And then Ice Palace needs flippers. Swamp needs flippers. And Pod is clearable. So, Hammer is in Bonk Rocks, everyone. B to the O to the NKS. Bonk Rocks is the key. I mean, only other items we're kind of hoping to see at this point. Maybe half magic would be nice on Claris's side, but it's not a requirement. Red mail, silver arrows. There's not a lot left we want to find. And Claris having all of the little keys. And it looks like we've got a vanilla big key in Misery, which is a great item. To be fair, at this point, if flippers are not on Helmasaur, Claris is making the best call possible, and if clears Vitreous, it could be Pedestal still. So that is still on the table, everyone. And that might be, like, this could be the deciding play if it is a Pedestal seed.
Pending when Claris remembers to check the bonk rocks.
Yes. But that's way more likely. Oh. Did we find the big key then?
I thought I saw a small key on that other chest too.
Oh, it's going to be behind the blue blocks, up by the Medusa on the other side of the big key space there. Where he's going right now.
Expect going for the vanilla big key chest in that situation because you know it's a 50-50 shot at that point that it has the big key.
Yep, and it's not a terrible choice. It's slow, but I would go check the big key at this point, Claris. Good move. Now, if you had listened earlier and checked for your bonk rocks, I know how that is. We all know how that is. Oh, and there's number 2, blue goo. So Claris is going for a blind ped pull at this point. There's no reason to stay in this dungeon with 2 items found. Also, chat pointing out, we could have book on pedestal, which leads to flippers either in ether or bombos tablets. Thanks, chat. You're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Main fetch quest items. have to make some stretches.
Claris is totally going for the blind ped pull, which as I said, this is the gamble. We're not seeing any of the new Meyer glitch strats here from Claris. If anyone hasn't heard, there is a bit of a new glitch that allows you to trigger these switches without having to come up here or go into this next side room. It's quite exquisite when it works.
It's a real cool looking glitch. I think it only saves about like 10-15 seconds, so it's hard us to know it quite yet, but yeah, it's a very impressive looking thing in like 26 years of playing a single video game will do for a video game.
It is. It's absolutely exquisite and just one of those, this is beautiful, and you just kind of have to admire it. And we're going to see Cane of Berna dash strats. And there we go. Ooh, one lightning. Vitreous having absolutely insanely large health pool here.
2 silver arrows to defeat Vitreous, which is more than any enemy in the game except Ganon.
Isn't that, I think, 32 health it does to him? Like, I'm not sure what the numbers are, but it's insane.
That
And I expect Claris, after doing that, is going to go straight to pedestal. And we'll find out whether this was the call. Well, we did say this seed wasn't exactly going to be nice after seeing that Aga hint early on. I think Claris went to the wrong location, and yes.
We are for this ball.
We should see both of these items at approximately the same time. This is it. This is going to be the big call, guys. You know what? I have to feel, I think it might actually be pedestal.
Because you gotta be thinking, why else would the game give you Quake?
Oh, nothing on Helmasaur. Come on, blind ped pull.
And accept the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, Tiny Shield on pedestal.
Pretty much useless.
Oh. Well, Ped Hype is dead. I think Pyramid Fairy is where it's at then. And chat losing it over that ped pull. Oh, and you know, what do you do as Claris when you make that gamble and it doesn't pay off? Oh, looks like we're gonna go do Sequence Broken Ice Palace, which is not gonna have your flippers. Hoping just to keep things moving at this point while they think. It's not terrible, but...
They may be thinking that it's Hammer in here, but yeah, that's... Ooh, man. This is definitely a dungeon you don't want to double dip.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, having Big Key locked behind Hammer right now, that could spell doom for Claris. Doom. D-O-O-M. And Roxas making third attempt at Mothula. The Mothuling. Revenge of the Mothuling. This has been a rough seed, everyone. So let's celebrate these racers, give them a follow, because this is not easy, and they're still going. Going like champs.
Absolutely indeed, it's been one heck of a show today.
I think you got 2 more hits to go, Roxas. There we go. Little victory dance over on Roxas' side, even though they're not doing it. I can see it just in my mind. Nice, Claire, at the last second.
Yeah, first try.
Roxas doesn't have the book. Does he think he does?
Orphan out of here to flute.
Are they gonna go? Oh, they're going up to Death Mountain.
It's just gonna do the some of the tracks that Claris did very early on in the seed.
Oh, Silver Arrows in Ice Palace. That's a nice find.
Totally worth a double dip, but you don't hate to see those.
Shield progression. We know our go mode item won't be in here, so, you know, Clara's just going to go kill Cold Stare, and knowing that it's not there, this is fine. Wait.
He won't be able to kill Cold Stare.
Oh, he doesn't have... Why not? He has enough magic with the pots there.
The hammer to access the boss.
Oh, that is right. Oh, I totally forgot. That is something I've always taken for granted.
Exactly,
Granted.
yeah.
It's a rocky road commentating, people. Don't give me schist.
Like I've actually seen doing commentary, like people going into Ice Palace without hammer and getting confused. So yeah, it's like one of those items that you never not want to have going into Ice Palace, because like it's just so automatic. Like, oh yeah, I'm in Ice Palace, I have the hammer. Of course, why wouldn't I?
Not a geologist, my wife is. Or she has an earth sciences degree.
Down to just a few possible locations that these flippers can be. Here we have hammer pegs. We have Spike Cave, which Roxas could pretty easily get to, up on Death Mountain.
Yes, we do have Spike Cave available still. Where do you go, Claris?
Did he remember?
Hope you remembered.
Just staring at the map right now, racking his brain, just trying to figure out what he left behind.
Yep. Rox is not going to find anything useful here. I think Claris is doing double checks just to figure out what they've missed at this point. And I know I've been in this position doing the same thing, so...
Yeah, absolutely. It's somewhere that every rando runner eventually finds themselves. Warmer?
Getting warmer. Hookshot is in Fairy Cave, and Hammer is in Bonk Rocks.
He's got it.
Yay! Go, Claris! But now, where does Claris go? Because now Claris is playing catch-up. I think Roxas is going to go check Spike Cave. And we're back in this race, ladies and gents. This is time for Claris to catch up. Oh, Claris is going to go check the one chest in Thieves Town.
May also be checking hammer pegs before he makes that double dip.
Yep, not a bad check. Ooh, this is going to be tight for Roxas to get through.
Just barely have enough magic.
Whew. And the flippers!
All right, we got it. There we go.
There is go mode. Oh, wait.
No, yeah.
Roxas doesn't have hook shot yet, so in no mode.
So rough killing one of the fairies there. So Roxas doesn't have two pieces of information that Claris has. He doesn't know where Bombos is, and he doesn't know where Hookshot is. He should be able to route those checks in fairly quickly before he plays at the Ice Palace, but yeah.
To be fair, if Roxas can bomb jump, they don't grab silver arrows. Golden Sword Silverless Ganon isn't terrible, but it's still not as fast as Silvered. So, you know, if Claris can make the right checks and go up to Spike Cave, which looks like they're about to do, this might be a race. Yeah, we're getting this check from Claris, guys. This is a race. This is now, I feel, neck and neck.
Depends on when Roxas gets the information on what's on Hylia Island and when he decides to go to Waterfall Ferry.
Yep. And I don't know about Waterfall Ferry. I suspect he might do he doesn't have Hookshot. Does he do half of Swamp hoping it's there? Ew, that's not pleasant.
If you're feeling super behind, which Roxas may well be feeling, you may dip Swamp in this situation. That he would check some easy overworld before he goes that bold.
Yeah, it's just, you've got quite a few chests right away. Oh, Roxas checking Bat. And Claris now making their way to go do Swamp. Then we have Pod, Ice, and Turtle left. Having Swamp Palace as a go mode dungeon must be really nice for Claris. This is going to be like a 3.5 minute dungeon, maybe 5 at the worst, but it's fast.
Go mode Swamp with Boots is one of the best feelings in Rando. It just goes by super fast.
Don't go get your bombos yet. Go do Swamp first. Come on, Claris. Because now he's going to have to come back up and do all this again. And that's not the most pleasant. But getting bombos just so he doesn't forget, I'm fine with this. Remember, try to portal in the middle lest you hit the edge of the island and fall off. Seen it happen more than once. Claire's saying, I'm in go mode now. I'm going to fill up all my bottles with potions and then fly at this.
Wild plan. Roxas is doing the same thing. Given that he just filled up on magic, I would expect that he's going Ice Palace right here. Fairy first.
Very, very fast clear. And it looks like we're going to have... Oh, Roxas is going to find that one piece of information. We're down to one more for Roxas to catch up here. And Roxas being a dungeon ahead, it's kind of going to be huge on that information. Yeah, this is a very, very close race, everyone. I feel the seed's last gift to us is going to be tile room in Ganon's tower. I just feel it.
Seems about as likely as anything.
This has been a very, very tough seed, and I'm very impressed by the racers at this point and the work they've done.
Work, and Roxas, you can see a little bit of frustration as he finds his go mode item.
100 bits from Wags NYC. Thank you very much.
Thanks, friend.
I hate when your Twitch muscles just absolutely screw this bomb jump up for you. That looks good. Beautiful. Roxas grabbing his medallion before he forgets. And now both racers will be in go mode as of 1:41:27 or so. That bomb jump making a quick route to Cold Stare here.
Yep, the intended path through this dungeon is... I mean, we're in Randomizer, so there's no real such thing as an intended path, but this dungeon can take a while to full clear, so...
The old vanilla path, let's call it that.
Exactly.
Good use on bombos here. Not that Fire Rod's going to give you any more advantage than Butter Sword, but... And a very, very clean Cold Stare from Claris.
That's the power of butter right there.
Yep. Silvers are in the first chest, or iced tea room, right? In Ice Palace here.
A specific location of silvers, but they were in this dungeon.
Yeah, which means Roxas is going to be doing gold sword silverless on Ganon, while Claris is not. So now this race is really up to execution on both of our racers. So depending on how well they can execute at clearing things like Turtle Rock and Swamp here and Ice Palace. So this is an execution race at this point, guys.
Nice bomb jump from Roxas.
That was very nicely executed. Claris making the fast run into Swamp so they can go do Pod right away and then make their way to Turtle Rock. Smart move, you know, most racers will leave Turtle Rock as last if they can, just to make the climb to Ganon's Tower that much faster.
Yeah, that extra trip to Death Mountain can add like about a minute to your run, so you definitely want to save Turtle Rock for last if you can.
Roxas running on low hearts. It feels like a theme that Roxas has been running fairly low hearts all race tonight.
I had the green mail all race, whereas Claris has had the blue mail, and that can really make a difference in like your ability to kind of like in the rhythm and kind of go for bolder strats, I guess.
Yeah, popping this potion is, I think it's a smart, safe move. It's just, it would be nice if this kind of hits you mid Ganon's Tower and you need that safety. It's not bad. Don't want to die and walk back to Cold Stare, so. I expect we'll see it right after this bomb post goes off.
There we go. You by Cold Stare. Like, even if you're at 6 hearts, Cold Stare can really get you.
Yep, and 4 hearts for a body at this point. It really
4 hearts,
doesn't.
yeah.
And that's the risk of that. And there's another potion. We might see a warp and quickly potion up before going up to Turtle Rock. So, it's a bit of a time sink, but and thank you so much, Adrian11, for the Twitch Prime subscription.
Thank you. That's really kind of you to use that free sub on us.
I expect we'll see a quick check in this chest, just, you know, something like half magic. Oh, not even. That's like a half a second loss. I would still check it. Yeah, I feel Roxas might be a little nervous at this point, and seeing the time and just being in go mode at this point, it's got to get you a little frazzled. Because anytime after you know about the 1 hour 30 mark, especially with a seed like this, you're almost like, are they done yet? Are they done yet?
Have the SRTV chat open, you're just kind of glancing over at that part of your screen over and over again. Like, come on, when is it going to end?
Yeah, and it's nerve-wracking. So, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is really, really impressive that these people want to put this on for entertainment for us and are willing to deal with that kind of stress to enjoy this game, which is great. And so many people who have made this possible. So a big shout out to everyone who's helped make this tournament, from the organizers to every single support staff to the racers. It's been great.
And this is a very amazing production. I'm really happy to be a part of this.
As am I. Now Claris is going to head to Pod and then up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's right. Claris has yet to clear Pod. I kept on forgetting about that.
This is why this is such a tight race, because we'll see Roxas be done probably just as Claris is leaving Pod, because it's going to be a fast run to the back for Claris. So it's an extremely tight race right now. So it's going to come down to execution in Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower, which direction they both go, and where that key is. So this is really, really exciting. If you haven't told your friends, get them in here to watch this. This is a great finish, guys.
And is really hurting Claris, but it did net him the silver arrows, which is going to give him an advantage, assuming this race is as close as it's going to end up being.
Exactly. Both players play pretty nicely, and they've got Golden Sword and 15 hearts at this point. Well, 14 for Roxas. It's a fairly clean and even playing field, so it's all about execution.
Okay.
Sadly, the Canis Amaria is not a shield, Claris. Nice attempt. I like the idea.
Try to kill the Ren Mimics with Red Cane, and we'll see what that does for the randomizer.
Everyone's 20 rupees. The 1 out of 8 chest. In case everyone hasn't heard, there is a very, very fun new randomizer that is about to be coming out publicly. Super Metroid mixed with Link to the Past randomizer. It's brilliant. Absolutely a fun time. I highly recommend you guys go check it out.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of the exhibition race yesterday. That was a really intense experience.
You know, it looks like it's going to lend itself to co-op races, I think.
A lot of sense. That's not something I would want to go through alone.
Especially since it's a fairly long run. Like, we're seeing, 3+ hour runs in it, and that's a long time for a randomizer race.
Way to go with that, eh?
Yeah, as I said, both bosses are going to be very close to being done together. Beautiful pattern for Claris here on Helmasaur.
To see that bottle, just having that additional bit of safety for what's probably the hardest dungeon in the game.
And free red goo. As I said, racers are about 15 seconds apart at this point. This is an extremely close race.
We'll see. We'll compare how far apart their Turtle Rock opening times are, but yeah, this is really incredible to see.
And a quick reminder, just because if we're getting this close to the end and they're this close, a tie game is considered if they finish within 3 seconds of each other as of SRTV times. If that is the case, they must have a rematch. They will have some time this week to schedule it, but it will have to be done before, I think, Sunday at 6 Eastern is the standard.
Yeah, you want to give enough time for Challenge to do Challenge things. Ooh, Roxas getting dead rocked.
Oh no! And our racers.
Oh, he's completely stuck.
Oh
either
my
completely
god!
Stuck or just waiting. Okay, that's bringing this race even closer.
This is gonna be like a 7-second difference here, if that. Roxas having that portal open to help.
Roxas opening at 1:53.39.
10 seconds apart.
That's amazing.
And there are some routing differences in this dungeon, which will be interesting to see. Like if we go left side first rather than torch room. Do you gamble and not look for the big key in the torch room? Like, there are some interesting plays here. But I think we're going to see the safe plays from both players at this point. Silvers were in Ice Palace, which Claris sequence broke and dipped to look for other stuff. Ironically, being the one item they needed wasn't going to be there. And the hammer was hidden in Bonk Rock, so.
Just trying to. Oh, nice cane dash.
No big key here.
Use the cane strats rather than trying to use the hook shot to get through this room.
And we're down to an 8-second difference.
Room coming. Ooh, come on, Roxas.
Oh no, that's not a good.
Oh no. Room, even if you have the blue mail, but with green mail, you're just dodging those chomps and praying that they don't hit you.
Oh, and there's the big key. Oh my.
Oh man.
Take your time, Roxas. Don't rush this. You do not want to die at that anti-fairy. And Claris has taken the lead, ladies and gents. What are you doing, Claris? Oh, I know what Claris is doing, and this is a really smart move. They are going to go grab this key, and then they're going to go nope and go out the proper way, which means they will not have to hunt for a key on Laser Bridge.
Very smart play to make. And it looks like Roxas is doing the same thing. Oh, they get bunny beamed.
No, Claris, what are you doing? No! No! Oh, you are lucky, Claris. We might need to find one more key, though, to get into the back door there with the roller. So it might be that they... Well, that was a key to a key, so this isn't an advantage to anyone at this point. What was that? Yes, very true. This is... Ganon's tower is going to be a very decisive piece, so is execution on Ganon. High-fiving and holding hands here.
They're going to be gambling that the big chest doesn't have anything, and they're hoping for a small key either in this next chest coming up here or on the laser bridge. They're saving time by remembering to hit the crystal switch in that one room.
Oh no!
Oh
no!
Oh.
Does he have a fairy? He does not.
Yeah, he got potions.
And he didn't go through the back. Oh my god, he has to go all the way from the front. No! Okay, let's press F to pay respects on that one. That hurts. Oh, I feel so bad for Roxas. But Green Mail Dark World hurts so bad.
The vanilla game expects you to have blue mail and I think a couple more hearts by the time you get to Turtle Rock. So every enemy in here does a ton of damage, and we can see Roxas going for cane strats now. I
don't blame him at this point. I think vanilla assumes 15 hearts, so basically where Claris is at.
Or just not the right equipment, just not the right other equipment.
Yeah. Oh, and there's that book. Literacy for the win. And red mail!
For Roxas once they get to this chest.
That'll be nice for Roxas to have at least blue mail going into silverless Ganon. Green mail silverless. Oh, that's not pleasant either. I totally forgot about that. Please be careful, Roxas. We love you and want to see you succeed. This should be a fairly nice and simple try next. Oh no, not the eyes.
Yeah, you need to switch your weapon before the head goes to the death animation. Otherwise, you're just completely unable to access your menu.
Exactly.
Yeah, until the animation's over.
So we'll see a couple of swings here from Claris to the head before, and one to the body, and dead. Everyone, it is that time of the night. It is Guess the Big Key in Ganon's Tower. If you are a subscriber to any of the speed gaming channels or have donated 250 bits, you will be entered in a chance to be on the leaderboard. Of course, this does not mean everyone else shouldn't play. You should. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, and you will need to guess which chest it's in. Put your number in chat now, and we'll see what it is. What is your guess tonight, Walsh?
I typically always guess 19.
Oh, so you like them to suffer a little bit.
The ultimate suffer, but, you know, I like the second to last room.
Ooh, half magic on Laser Bridge is going to make Ganon a little bit safer for Roxas. And no, he's going into Silverless Ganon with green mail. Oh, this will be fun. And we're going to close this in about 5 seconds to see where that chest is. The minute he walks through that door, we are going to close it. Bidding is closed. Let's see where it's at.
Big key.
Number 1 is the big key.
And
Well, now Claris is going to go grab the small key on the left side here and make their way up Ganon's Tower.
congrats from Roxas. That's really cool to see in a 2-3 race.
And now Claris is going to make their way up this wonderful, wonderful ascent of Ganon's Tower.
Shout outs to Board Eric for winning the big key guessing game.
Oh no! No! Roxas, no! I think they grabbed the wrong cane. Oh, Roxas, no.
Safety door. So it's not as painful as the last death.
No, but it's a lot of running back, and that hurts.
It really does, yeah. It's... Oof.
And not to call anything at this point, but this is Claris's race to lose. At this point. And it can happen, you know, with how close these racers are, a fall to Ganon or 3 or 4 falls to Trolldorm, which is not unheard of, can happen. Very nice Roxas for phase 1. That is good. Well done, Roxas. Good job. Nice recovery.
It's having a pretty easy time through Gauntlet with the gold sword and silver arrows.
And red mail. Two out of 3 of Landmo 2 down. And number 3. I love the artificial difficulty of dropping the Medusa in here.
Probably diving Hookshot Cave here, hoping to find silver. He's gonna find the blue mail, and that's decent, but...
That'll help dramatically at this point, but it's not enough, I don't think. Like, this is...
Oh.
Unless Roxas has an absolutely spectacular time and Claris fails somewhere. Oh, that hurts. But this has been a spectacular race between these two racers, everyone. if you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, you know, follow the Speed Gaming channels. There's a ton of great content that goes on here all the time. The link to the past Randomizer channels and these racers themselves. So, you know, let's make sure we're following this content, because the more you follow, the more content gets created. So let's keep this community thriving, everyone. Ooh, and there's a Trolldorm Fall. This is what we mean. Randomizer is not over until you've walked through that Ganon's door. And a second fall. Oh, no. No. Please do not say I have given commentators curse to Claris at this point.
Just trying to like rush this fight of just trying to finish as fast as possible, and he's kind of letting it a little bit go.
Yep. Giving Roxas a chance to catch up. Still has the gauntlet to do, but you know, bad attempts on Geometry Wizards still exist.
Yeah, exactly. You just need to calm yourself, remind yourself that you've done this fight like I would imagine, and you know, just kind of let muscle memory take over from here.
And into Geometry Wizard. And Aga still trolling us with those blue balls. You remember when you said you'd never need to know geometry to amount to anything in life? Well, this game is proving you wrong.
You know, should have paid attention to math class. You would have been fight.
And there we go. So Aga down at 2:08:15 for Clarice, and now moving into everyone's favorite time, Ganon. Let's go kill us a pig. Nice setup for Claris and getting into fire bats really quickly.
Indeed. Yeah, it takes 6 hits with the Butter Sword to get Ganon out of Phase 1 and Phase 2, so yep, went by pretty quick as you just saw.
And now we're into Phase 3. There's 3 hits to get out of Phase 3. 1 more to go. While Claris is saying, yes, I did find those in Ice Palace. Torch glitch has been set up. That's going to be absolutely important for Roxas to set up, being silverless. Not so much that it's with Gold Sword, but it's nice.
Yeah, for Roxas, the silverless fight is really, really difficult if you don't have the Torch glitch, but we get Ganon down for clarisdatcom.
Yep. Wait for them to enter the door, and we will get an official SRTV time. And we have clarisdatcom finishing tonight in first with an SRTV official time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 25 seconds. Let's get some GGs in chat for Claris, guys.
G Claris, very well played race.
Let's get Claris in here, hopefully to chat. GG, Claris.
I did everything in my power to lose that race, and I still don't know how I won it. Oh my God. One caveat before we get to questions: this is not the first time on a speed gaming channel that I have done the exact same thing. We'll just get that out of the way.
Which thing?
Skip bonk rocks for an important item.
Oh. So, what is your thought on tonight's seed?
Well, the thought process was that I had gone to bonk rocks and I thought flippers was on the pedestal, so it's just immediately just to it all go to pedestal, and oh look, it's blind, so you're not going to tell it's a shield. Okay, what did I do wrong?
Well, everyone was glad you did the pedestal check. I called for it, saying it was a logical move. Even knowing where the hammer was, flippers was still out there, and with the items that had been put out, it was a very, very valid choice. I did kind of call you out, going, no, you're missing bonk rocks. Why are you doing that? And then it paid out being important, and it was just like, oh no, this is unfortunate.
It was what it was. Thankfully, I survived. Let me get on the channel here and see where he's at.
He is just at Troll Dorm 2 right now.
Oh, that logic skip early on, that paid in spades even without the incident that occurred. So,
interesting fact, the last chest on Laser Bridge had half magic. So, the funny part about that is you didn't go for the safety door, Roxas did. So Roxas goes to the safety door, gets half magic, gets the key, goes out, is still in green mail at that point. Checked Hookshot Cave and got his blue mail. So he did Trinex green mail, and we were worried he was going to go into Ganon silverless with green mail.
Oh yeah, because when I was out of options, I was like, okay, I'll just fake flippers to ice. Maybe the hammer's there naturally, and then I don't know what's going to happen after that, and I ended up running into the silvers.
Roxas being a little upset here. So pretty much throughout Turtle Rock, you guys were sub 7 seconds apart in time.
Oh man. Oh.
It was the race to watch. What ended up happening was there was an unfortunate death, 2 deaths of Roxas's in Turtle Rock. One of them sending him before he had got, like, just after the big key in the roller room there. He died just around there and had to go back to the beginning.
Oh man.
And a death to Trinex to safety door. Those were the 2 biggest pieces that kind of cut a huge advantage for you, I feel.
Yeah, because once I had seen what was on pedestal, I was like, oh, okay, I'm dead in the water. Let me just try to do what I can, make the time, maybe have a presentable time. But I had no point at that point after that did I ever think I was ahead.
And now to see Roxas execute this wonderful silverless Ganon fight. I have good faith in Roxas being able to do this.
One thing that the Ice Palace dip gave you that Roxas never found was the silver arrows.
Well, with the swords being as findable as they were, it probably wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, that hurts. seeing that like 6-heart body from Ganon.
It's never fun to get a hug.
No, this is the kind of hugs you want to avoid. I'm surprised with the half magic strats he hasn't pulled out the Cane of Burna at this point, which I would feel is the safest thing to do. Yep, 6-heart hugs. And once those fire bats get going, it can make it really annoying to smack it. Oh. For chat, bonk rocks are west of Sanctuary. They're a pile of rocks that can just be hit with the boots that will get you everything. At least in this race.
Yeah. Oh, no, it does. Oh.
There's those cane strats. Don't forget you're going to need magic for phase 2. Or for phase 4. Two more slashes, and then we can go into final phase. One more. There we go. Here we go. Let's see if he gets this glitch set up.
Just a little bit far away to get that set up. So yeah, we'll see how hard this fight can be when you don't get that glitch set up.
And I think Roxas is going, I need potions, or needs to set it up, so.
When you don't have that torch glitch set up, you either need to be spraying a fire rod in both directions at all times, so it can really drain your magic super quick, or you have to be using the lamp to light both torches, which is super slow, and it's really hard to get 2 hits on a cycle when you're doing lamp strats.
And sometimes Silverless can be just tight anyways, so it's like you're hoping for 1 hit at that point, and that is also tedious. Because I think you need 6 with a gold sword, Silverless.
Oh, with the gold sword. It doesn't really make any difference between tempered spins and gold spins.
Those bats are out for him tonight. Claris, I totally thought you were going to hit like a 170 on collection, if not more. So I'm impressed with the 160 on that.
I was figuring the 175 range.
Anytime that goes over, you know, about 180, it's like,
Why didn't I just hundo it?
Exactly. There was some races leading up to this tournament, the dailies, that were just absolutely awful in that regard. Nice setup on Roxas's part. Here we go. There's 1. 2. Very nice. 3. 4. Roxas playing it safe. Smart move.
On magic right now, I think you only have like
5.
Yeah, I think you only have like 3 fire rods left with that magic, so yeah, switching to lamp is very smart.
Yep. And you know, one of the things, if you've never done Silverless, you'll see a couple of things here. It's the very last couple of frames before he teleports that he is vulnerable to a sword spin. That's 7. Smart move, drawing the fire bat out. And the biggest advice, if you've never done... Oh my god. If you've never done Silverless Ganon, is move in cardinal directions. Don't go diagonal, because you will get sniped by that bat. Oh!
There's a tricky balance you have to strike, because you want to get close enough to Ganon that you can hit him, but not so close that you don't have any time to react to the fire bats.
Yep. I think we're going to see a grab of potions, which is, I think, good at this point.
I don't think you have quite enough magic to finish out the fight, but... Yeah, GG to Roxas for finishing this out. I really appreciate that.
Yep, it is. It's always nice to beat these seeds, especially when they're not as pleasant as this one. There is something satisfying in it, so... How is this our fault, chat? I was giving general advice. I didn't say he was going to. I said he needs to look out. Not my fault. You can't blame it on me. Yeah, so Silverless, it's an art, and for any of you who have had to do Master Sword, Silverless Ganon, I've done it twice. It is not pleasant. It is an experience and a half. I don't wish it on my cousin or anyone else.
Ganon is just the absolute worst. Like, it might honestly be faster just to, like, hope you find a tempered sword somewhere out in the overworld.
Yep. At least one of the races I've commentated had, literally, Master Sword was the go item after Ganon's tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a fun one. Drink a potion up.
Two. And Berna, and then you have another one in case the serverless fight goes awry.
Good spamming to set that up. There's one. Also, fun note, if you are struggling with the fire bats knocking you off, don't move if they're going to hit you. You've got 2 hits. 2 out of 8.
We're 1/6 of the way there.
Do we need to go back to math class again? Three or 4. He's guarding that torch really well.
On that torch while you were setting up the torch glitch. I've had that happen to me, and yeah.
Oh.
Just barely survived that one. So have you been keeping track of the count here? Are we on
I think we're at 7. Nope, that would be 7 then.
More than 7, because it takes 12 hits to kill him.
Is it 12?
12, yeah. Yeah, because there's no difference between, like, slashes with the butter sword and spins with the butter sword. Like, level 4 sword damage is just level 4 sword damage.
I've never actually paid attention to the counts other than Master Sword is, I think, 32.
24.
Is it 24? It's a stupid number.
Yeah, you don't want to know it, but yeah.
Smart move on that.
Well, just... at this point, just gotta try your best not to fall.
One of the good tactics if you're trying to make Silverless a bit easier, don't charge your sword pointing at Ganon. It helps prevent pokes. And there we go. Whew.
GG Roxas.
Yeah, my count was terrible. So let's get GG's in there for Roxas for finishing this seed, guys. This was a very, very special seed. And that was impressive. Let's see if we can get Roxas in here. GG.
Thank you.
Oh, a little bit of a rough ending to that seed for yourself.
Yeah, that was pretty tough. Yeah, my execution was terrible today. I haven't played in like a week, so really kind of hurt me. But what can you do?
Indeed. So, what were your thoughts on that seed tonight?
Honestly, I'm just so frustrated with how I played that it's a little confusing to inform thoughts. Just things were all over the place. I think the biggest surprise moment was that the green pendant actually paid off. Yeah, I totally went into Eastern thinking it was a crystal for some reason, and it was not. So that felt a little bad. And then I was like, oh, but it's the green pendant, and it also wasn't. So yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle, but overall, I think if I play a little better, I had a chance. But what can you do?
So, So you're aware, and I recommend both of you go and watch the VOD because this was a really good race.
Sure.
Going into Turtle Rock, you guys were 12 seconds apart.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a race to see. Absolutely great view. I was impressed by it. Thank you so much for putting it on tonight, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I know the rest of the community does.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for commentating. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, guys.
Thanks for the
And,
race, you two.
Yeah, GG to Claris. It was clearly a close race. Up
GG
until
Roxas.
failing Ganon and Silverless like 3 times in a row. But what can you do?
Either of you have any last thoughts on the tournament, the race, anything else?
I've really enjoyed participating in this tournament. I didn't really have any high hopes for getting into brackets, but I'm happy I was able to put up a couple wins. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to practicing a little more and hopefully doing better next time.
These tournaments are they're just wonderful. The community just bands together, and we put on a great show for everybody. It's good to be 3-3. Cross my fingers. Hopefully I get a good pair up, and I might actually finish with a winning record. Who knows?
Yeah, good luck to you.
Good luck the rest of the way.
With that, let's make sure, guys, if you enjoyed this tonight, let's follow our racers. We'll get their Twitches up in chat as well. A big thank you to DataPlet, our tracker tonight. A big thank you to Artie Walsh V, my co-commentator tonight, and everyone else who helps make this race happen. It's been a fantastic few weeks, and we've got another 8 weeks of races still to come. So keep tuning into the Speed Gaming channels. Keep tuning into the ALTTP Randomizer channels. There's a lot of content still left. And I'll leave the last words to Artie Walsh.
Yeah, I don't really have a ton to add to that. Thank you, Elatris, for the commentary. This was a super fun race to call. Thank you to Claris and Roxas for the race. Thank you to Twitch chat as ever for watching. Thank you to the tracker and to the restream team. And yeah, thank everyone so much.
Awesome. So just going to quickly check to see if there are any other races tonight. We have, right now we have Brewers fan JP versus Bad Moons on Speed Gaming going on. And then we've got quite a few tomorrow coming up. So tune in. We've got the last of week 6 finishing up this week. It's been a double week because of RPG Limit Break. So enjoy yourselves, everyone, and have a fantastic night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Thanks.